morning, everybody. Welcome to the show with no name. Who'd have thought we're up to episode number 32? I just had a look at that number this morning and I thought that can't be right, but it absolutely is.
I know, right?
We've had so much fun. And we started this program, it was a little over a year ago, and for the purpose of assisting people. You know, we've come across so many people doing amazing things for, you know, going from small communities to, you know, starting their next door neighbour, small communities, their school, something on the larger scale, and doing things for, as we like to call them, profit for purpose. And if you don't know what we're talking about, you probably call them not-for-profits, but we like to change the language and the terminology of that just to help them bring the money in. Charities and service clubs and, you know, just other organisations doing things and make a difference, but not just the clubs themselves. There are also people in the community doing things to assist, and they find causes that matter to them and just want to make a difference. And we like to brand champion them, or you. If you're one of those people, please do get in contact with us, because we want to show the world all the amazing things that you're doing in your community. And, you know, you might even need help with an event. And I'm not talking about asking us to plan the event for you. I'm talking about helping to promote the event and show people what's out there. You might need donations of, you know, silent auction items, raffle items, that kind of thing. If you're organising anything, please do reach out, because we'd like to help you as well.
We absolutely would, and I think we've got an amazing guest coming on today who's just jumping in and out. I can see down there in the dashboard that she's here, she's not, she's here, she's not. So while Chris gets sorted, we will talk a little bit about I don't know. She's probably hanging out there going, "Yeah, what the hell's But so Theonie, maybe just send her a message and see if we can help her troubleshoot. And while we get that sorted, we're all in the show together a little while ago, and as soon as we go live, it all went to hell in a handbasket. But that seems to be what's happening. It's the gods, or the tech gods, which she's here. So I can see her, Theonie.
I won't send the message. I just typed in because we might lose her.
She's got her fingers crossed like this. We'll finish the introduction. I was going to actually share about some of the things that we have done, and the people that we have helped. And one that comes to mind, we've actually interviewed quite a few people who are doing amazing things. There was one guy we spoke to, Steve, who's written his push bike, something like 2,220 kilometres from Brisbane to Adelaide, from neuroblastoma. We've talked to a lovely lady raising funds for awareness of epilepsy to help her daughter, and a myriad of other people. Let me introduce Chris to you this morning. Chris is so calm. I love it. Chris's passion and her life is about empowering women to step up to their leadership and realise a vision hang on, I think I might have started halfway through that conversation and I don't have the rest. Chris is actually this is what is it? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to bring Chris in, and I'm going to have a chat with her, and we'll actually ask her, because today we are focused on peace. Now, the World Peace Movement. And let's do the intro like this. And now for something completely different. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Adaire. I'm really well. And can you hear me okay?
I can hear you very well. Yeah. You've just got to laugh. This is live broadcasting at its best. Theonie's playing with the host controls remotely.
I was trying to see if I could get Chris in the large frame, but I can't, so I'll go back to where we were.
All good.
Oh my God. So, Chris, now what I wanted to speak to you about today, what we wanted to speak to you today, was the peace movement that you are involved in for women. And I've just, like, when I thought I was being smart and getting super organised, and actually copied and pasted the introduction across to a Google document and I got the last two paragraphs. So let's take it from the top.
Oh, good.
So the peace movement that you're involved in is you can share that with us, please.
I know it's a little tricky to say the acronym, but it's WILP. It's a yeah. So it's Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. Yeah.
And so Chris, how did that come about? How did your involvement with that come about with the WILP?
My personal involvement with that came about in the mid when I was working as an advisory teacher for secondary schools in Queensland, and I was helping to sort of set up a conference. It was called Safe and Supported School Communities, and I had always wanted to somehow contribute to peace, whether it was through my own art or through education, through all of those areas. But I wanted more, and I knew that, if I was just going to go at the pace that I was going as an individual, I wasn't going to get very far. And I wanted to make a huge difference, or not personally make a huge difference, but see that happen, because there's so many areas that need it. And I was walking around, we were stuffing conference bags, and I said to the senior guidance officer in front of me, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I'm going along to my women's peace group. And those moments in time when your ears go up and every hair on your body just kind of sticks. I've got to find out more about this. And I did. And this organisation has been going since 1915. They started when over 1,100 women came together almost spontaneously, really, from enemy, allied and neutral countries. They came together in hate to say what world leaders doing is perpetuating war, not trying to stop it as they say they're going to do, and as they say they're doing. And so they set up then a set of principles and practices that would take a totally different perspective and an approach to how you deal with conflict in the world, and started taking that round to the world leaders who were involved in the war. And that was the beginning of it. Some have listened a little bit. We're still going.
And that's pretty amazing, Chris. And I think so. You are now is it the Australian president, or is the Oceanic region, or how does it work? How does it work? Does it work in chapters, or?
Good question. So chapters, we call them sections. So, and each section is a country, and we have. Well, actually, and then we've got some groups too that haven't quite, sort of developed into sections. And I think it might be up into the 40s around the world in terms of the countries that are involved. We work in a number of regions, 6 regions. And so for us, it's the Asia Pacific region, which moves from Japan, Philippines, Polynesia, New Zealand and Australia are the main areas involved, countries involved in this part of the world. And I'm the president of Australia. So you're that. Yeah. So it's a great setup, because it actually means that. Yeah. So I was going to say, because we work essentially and democratically. Yeah.
Adaire, can you check the host chat? I've been trying to get your attention everywhere else, so I'm just going to say it out loud.
Right.
Bring Chris's name on screen.
Okay.
Bring Chris's name on screen.
Clearly, Fifi only has way more experience than this than I have.
Beautiful. Yeah. Can you? Am I back on?
We have now official. Yes.
Sounds like we have a few Greeblies operating. I was just going to say that I'm joining you from an island off the eastern coast of Australia, and it might be partly that sort of that's an extra little Greebly in here. So we work. I love the fact that this is it's an international sisterhood. The way it works is where it's like local action, and then bigger support, and it kind of goes local, global, local again. So we're able to support women in all sorts of parts of the world, not only where there are WILP, WILP sections or chapters, and to also have this incredible international sisterhood too.
That's amazing. Now, Chris, normally that's my line. I'm joining you from an island off the east coast of Brisbane.
Your internet connection today is way too crisp for you to be on Coochie today.
I'm actually staying in the middle of the Gold Coast right now. We've been up at Surfers Paradise for a couple of days, R&R, which is like really interesting because I think most people would go to Coochie for an R&R, but you know, it's now for something completely different. I know my daughter got excited about seeing traffic outside the window, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. Just like to remind you, if you are here for live or the replay, shout out and say hello. We'd love to know who you are and where you're from. We are broadcasting live on mytimetv.live for the show with no name, and we're syndicated out to over 50 channels of TV on demand through the Binge Network's syndication program. So please do jump in and say hello and ask Chris any questions. We also like to help you to help us to share the peace. We normally say share the love, but it's share the peace and get the word out there. So if you are here, welcome, and don't be shy. Please jump in and say hello, because we do love to have interaction and we do love to know who's watching, and we do love to have a chat with you as well.
And if you're watching in the watch party over at Women in Business Adelaide, I have put the link above, so feel free to pop in to watch us live so that Chris can see your comments as you comment. If Adaire looks at them, because she's been ignoring me, but that's only because it's me.
Oh, dear. So we are like a true married couple, aren't we?
Beautiful.
So Chris, with the movement, it started in 1915, and I love the fact that it was women who for peace, regardless of what was happening in their countries. And I mean that really warms my heart, and I just think everyone should get on this onto this. And what sort of numbers have you got worldwide? Because it's these sort of things, I guess, with social media helps to bring that even further faster. So is it growing fast?
That's a really good question. Do you know what? I don't know the answer. I will find that out. So it is growing. Actually, we're growing. I don't know how much we're growing in numbers, but we're growing in sections. And one of the biggest areas that work has been growing is in Africa. We have something like, 5 to 8 new countries that in the last couple of years have come on board. So that groups like the Democratic Republic of the Congo, like groups where there's huge issues at stake. And there are a lot of men who are supporting the movement too, and it's about being on the ground, things like elections and how we support women in really challenging situations, and children, but also everybody too. I think I've digressed slightly from your question, but I guess that it's really I'm excited that I think that now, this is my personal perspective. I think that we probably would have started out as a largely, sort of white Anglo US, European organisation. We've actually had very, 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 very strong and growing involvement from the sort of areas like and South America, and we have a section in the middle. We had sections in the Middle East, and so it's really exciting. And to come together when we see we have a World Congress every 3 years, and one last year was in Ghana.
Wow.
In Accra, Ghana, and it was just phenomenal. Sort of the diversity can come together, eventually work for a common purpose. And I think the thing about WALK too, to just say that we're actually identifying the underlying causes of war and violence and conflict, and to actually be addressing those. So we're dealing with poverty, sort of climate issues across the range. But what we do is we come with a gendered lens. So really bringing in the perspective of what is the impact on women, on children,
And if we have all voices at the table, to happen, and then the difference that makes. And that's just really, really powerful and exciting.
I just don't know if Theonie and I are speechless.
I just think it's incredible that, like you said earlier, Chris, that there are people in these, in these countries that are war torn and have, well, to us, some of the issues that they go through really is difficult to understand, because in Australia we're not dealing with the same stuff that they're dealing with, especially when you're talking about the Middle East. So to see them coming together as part of this as well, I think it's absolutely incredible, and just shows that there's always hope. There's hope that things will get better.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a quote from there's an anthropologist, Margaret Mead, who's gone from this earth now, but one of the quotes that really keeps me inspired and empowered is, never think that a small group of people can't change the world. That's all that ever has. So for me, in my own coaching work, and certainly in the work of Work Group Together, we can feel totally, if I look at the papers and I just sit there, but if we start to group together with a small group, locally with your shopping centre, or you can do something, worldwide. Just as a little example, and I was when I looked at what was doing, and also in national internet was needed, got to be into that. So WOOF has been working with women in Yemen for quite a number of years, finding out, because their voices weren't being heard at the UN and to hear one, and so WOOF was gathering information, helping those women to be able to have their voices amplified, and to be able to speak at the UN, etc., so that they were empowered, and also other countries were able to operate on standing. And then we're there now, sort of when you're thinking. So often organisations like Brown, you kind of go, yep, if I can support a way that I can, I'm starting to make my.
Yeah. So you're saying, Chris, that you have the conference and you
do.
Because
I know that. Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, please.
I think just trying to say.
I was going to say. I was going to say I can talk, stop every so that I.
Take a breath, and I'll jump in with a question.
Great.
This is great, because your passion is clearly evident, and the fact that you are the president in the Australian region for WOOF, and Theonie's just dropped herself out into the lobby. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, but yes, just a reminder, if you've joined us here live, just let us know, say hi. If you are in the replay, welcome. We are live on My Time TV for the show with no name, and we're syndicated out to over 50 channels of TV on demand through the Binge Network's syndication program. And we are speaking with the lovely Chris Henderson, who is the Australian president of the WILF, which is the Women's International League for Peace Federation. Now, I've got those words back to front. You're going to have to help me. And freedom. It's a league for freedom. So Theonie's getting tech up, in tech, because she wants to put Chris in the big screen. She has the remote.
Do you want full transparency? My mum rang, and I'm tethering my internet from my phone, and it dropped me out.
Oh.
So I hung up on Mum, but I had to bring myself back up.
You can do that now with the remote assistant. So we are using the Be Live TV platform, which is a absolute amazing platform of just, well, they're in the middle of having their 3rd birthday celebrations right now over on Be Live TV. But this is great for live streaming and to be able to show names. Theonie, I haven't got your name there. Yeah. Let's do this peacefully. So, Chris, other activities. So you said the Congress, they work on the ground with people, women in Yemen, and is there anything particular to our region that we could get involved in, and how might that look, and where would we go? Sorry.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, actually, for those based in South Australia, there is a wonderful South Australia that you can get involved in on the ground. And I know that, and with a fabulous group of women of diverse ages, we tend to be on the hobby and older membership. And actually it's quite lovely because you might come in at the age of 40 or 50 or even 60 and you can be called the young ones. But that's in the really wonderful, wise women and inclusive. And so some of the work that I know in South Australia is working with local awareness raising and councillors and parliamentarians to bring an end to nuclear weapons, so that Australia has the capacity to be able to sign on to the international treaty to ban, which being being finalised and endorsed internationally, and another so that's one of the areas. Another there's a few local issues too, I think, in terms of some Indigenous issues that we tend to work together with other organisations too. But so I link for South Australia, and we've got branches in 5 states and 10 in the country. But also, what we've been doing over the last couple of years, we've got a gorgeous strategic, big audacious goals that we're going for, and that women can actually. Yeah, exactly. Women can join in from anywhere in the country now, because we have, goal action groups where you can join in and find out what the various goals are and choose the one that you'd like to work on, so that we can work online and in groups in all sorts of diverse ways, which help to meet all the other obligations that we have as times of our lives too. So that's.
Is there an online community, like a Facebook group?
The other part is that question you there. Yes, there's we've got a page. We're still developing our online capacity and our social media presence. So we would love some volunteers. That absolutely one of the areas get involved. That would be totally awesome. Scott, we have just putting in that plug.
That's actually a brilliant call to action.
Yes, so all sorts of areas that. Great, excellent, and we do seriously need it because we're older, and me too. I've got skills in some, but others. We've just to develop a strategic communications strategy for us, and to help do some sort of actions to show us how we can do media releases. That's the area we probably, in a way, I think our presence is much less than that, because we're not out there in those spaces. That's a huge call to action, an amazing way to be able to use your skills and to contribute to peace at the same time. Oh yes,
I know, and you can see down there's this little ticker that goes across the screen saying, stand for peace, share the peace, be peace. How many others can you get involved in this movement? So just have a look above. There is a link to the Facebook page. You feel free to send Chris, or I don't know, I guess whoever's admin on that page, send a message through the page and ask your questions. You will be directed into the most appropriate course of action, I guess, to the branch that's local to you, and asked to, I guess, be involved. There's a whole range of things that you'll be able to direct people to do, I would imagine, Chris. But the first step is for you, if you're watching this, to get involved, to help brand awareness is what we can do here on social media so quickly and so easily. It's just, it's just a godsend for organisations such as yours, or the one that you're working with, Chris, because we can get, if each of us just let 5 of our friends know, that's all we need to do. And they just let 5 of their friends know, and they let 5 of their friends know. It's not hard. It's easy. We just need the mindset to do that, and we can really increase the brand awareness. And we've got my daughter packing up. We've got she's whispering, sorry.
Adaire,
we're going to wind this up. I love it. This is live. Oh. This is as it happens.
May I say one more thing?
You sure can.
Oh, great. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to make it 2. The first one is thank you. I just feel by the possibility that could come out of what you just said. I hadn't even thought, about the social media like that. That's huge for us. Actually, about to get our new website. Our website's very old, a new website, and so that's like we're in the space, but we don't have the people. So the for doing this sort of stuff. And the other thing is, when I mentioned about the Congress, we've actually taken on another audacious step in that WILP Australia will be hosting the next World Congress of WILP in Brisbane, mid-2001. So if you would like to get involved, like in that part of this sisterhood and be able to connect with women all around the world, and it just opens up huge possibilities. And there's
that is amazing.
I'll stop there.
That is absolutely amazing. And I actually would love to stay close and be involved in any way I can, because this sort of thing really does mean it's meaningful, and it really is. We've got an opportunity now that we've never had before to really create the world that we want to live in. This is, we've got the means at our disposal to actually create it fast and to get the word out there and create these movements. So, Chris, has been an absolute delight speaking with you. I am so pleased that you answered the call and jumped in. And can I ask which island you're on?
The gorgeous Stradbroke Island.
Oh, so you're just next door neighbours to where I usually am. we can see Stratty from Coochie. You can tell I'm a local. I'm shortening all the. So when I get home, I'll stand on the beach and wave. So.
Oh God, beautiful. All right, well, Adaire, thank you so. Both of you, thank you so much.
Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to drop you into the lobby and wind up the show, and we'll talk when I've just finished the show. So thank you very much. It's been an honour and a pleasure to have you with us. Okay, so Chris Henderson, for Australian President of the World. Oh God, tell me what it is. World. She's going to have to tell me because I've lost my notes. WILF. Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. And I'll tell you, by the end of that conversation, I'm going to know that inside out and upside down. Because when I say people don't often remember what you say, but they always remember how you feel. So while I haven't actually remembered what Chris said it was, I remember the feeling that I got when she said it. It was blew me away, and there was so much love there. So just to wind it up, Theonie's gone AWOL. She might be talking to her mum, I don't know. And she's saying, she's playing in the comments. She's saying, what an incredible movement. Connect with Chris for more information. Send a message to the page linked above. Thank you. And I'm losing my voice. Thank you so much for joining us for the show with no name today. Again, we are on My Time TV, and we are broadcast out through 50 channels of TV on demand. And please remember to share the love. We'll see you next Thursday on the show with no name, 9:30 a.m. Australian Central Daylight Time. I'm Adaire Palmer. Theonie is somewhere. I think she's down there. We will see you next week. Bye.
I had to